Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Force Quit. My name is Hammer, and today we're going to take a forced look at The Final Station. It's the newest game by Do My Best Games. I think it might actually be their debut game. It came out today for the PC, PS4, and on September 2nd it's going to come out on Xbox One. Right now on PC and consoles, it's $14.99. So apparently this game was originally planned to be a Kickstarter at one point, but it was actually picked up by publisher Tiny Build Games so that they could avoid the whole Kickstarter hullabaloo, I guess. I've played probably about 3 hours into the game at this point, but I started over a new game real quick just to show you guys a quick little peek at the beginning of the game. I didn't really want to give you guys any spoilers or anything like that. I just wanted to give you an idea of what the gameplay is like, what the atmosphere is like, things like that. So let's get started. Basically, the atmosphere in this game is pretty great. The graphics are obviously pixel-based, as you can see. They're serviceable. I wouldn't say they're amazing, but they do fit the theme. Right here, at this point in the game, I'm just getting to the end of an act. There's multiple acts in the game as the train travels back and forth to multiple destinations. I don't know if you can tell from this particular spot here, but this game is a combination zombie survival game and I guess a train maintenance simulator or something like that. So the way it works is there's two different stages of the game. There's the on-foot bits right here. This is like the act break. There's multiple versions of these as the game progresses, and you actually go around and you socialize with people, and you talk to civilians and military members and stuff like that. The dialogue in the game is a little bit weird. It feels like it's poorly translated. It feels like the developers are probably Russian based on their names, and they kind of paid somebody who maybe didn't speak English as their first language to translate everything for them. This is actually one of those rare cases, though, where like a weirdly translated dialogue actually kind of works. The game's got a lot of mystery right out the gate. And for whatever reason, the poorly translated language actually kind of works out. It adds a little bit to the mystery and the mystique and what's going on. So this is right at the very beginning of the game, just to get you a feel for the atmosphere and the parts of the game that aren't necessarily combat related. You can walk around, you talk to people, they're automatically highlighted as you approach them. You can raid different parts like refrigerators and desk drawers and stuff like that to find items to craft with. There's a very rudimentary crafting system that takes place on the actual train itself. The on-foot segments are probably the parts of the game that you end up playing the longest, but the game is very much split between the on-foot section and the actual train section. The train section is probably the part of the game that I think maybe doesn't quite work super well. The combat kind of works. I wouldn't say the combat's amazing, but it's, again, just like the pixel graphics. They're serviceable, they get the job done, but I don't know that necessarily it all comes together. The game's got great atmosphere, and unfortunately I feel like it's only decent gameplay. So at this point I'm coming up to the generals to get my orders. These guys are going to give me some cargo that I need to take to another city. I'm not going to really spoil what that cargo is, but you find out pretty quickly within the game, probably within, I want to say, 6 or 7 levels or so. So I'm going to get my orders, and then we're going to head back. So the train sections are gated by the on-foot sections, where you got to go out and scrounge up supplies, fight zombies, find med kits for your passengers, find food for your passengers, things of that nature. And you have to find a specific code. There's things called blockers that prevent the train from moving any further, and basically the on-foot section is where you have to go out there, survive all this crap, find stuff for the survivors on your train, and at the same time you got to get this code so that you can actually move on. So you see here I'm on a ladder. That actually is a kind of a problem when it comes to combat. You can't shoot when you're on the ladder, you can't attack when you're on the ladder. All you do is just get hit and you'll die. So you can see the atmosphere for the game. Basically, the storyline is that 106 years ago there was an alien invasion of some sort, and it turned people into zombies. Turns out there's another one happening right now. Right here, this is a morgue, and you have an escaped dead soldier who's just kind of dripping guts and such. Right there, you got a zombie right here. I can't do anything to him other than throw a chair at him, so I'm going to do that. But the combat's not great. Considering that a huge part of the game takes place, you know, on foot, in combat, ammo at the beginning of the game is kind of scarce, but I mean, you kind of expect that. As you get deeper into the game, though, you can actually craft ammo further, and it becomes much, much less of a problem. So here's the code. I have to pop that into the blocker in order to carry on. This part of the game, these military guys are going to be passengers on the train. But for whatever reason, the train part, it's half the game, and I feel like the train part's the weakest part. It feels like it's the part that should hold, kind of be the glue in between things to mix up the gameplay, that sort of thing. But unfortunately, it's kind of a train maintenance simulator. You got different parts of the train that can break at any given time, and if they break, you can't move on any further. We have the deprecation system, which I'm sure is something Apple wishes they had so that people would keep buying new phones. You have the ventilation system, which is how people breathe. You have the cargo, if you have any. You got something here where the food is. In case your passengers are hungry, you can give them food. If your passengers are hurt, you can heal them with a med kit. And then you got this guy here, which is where the actual crafting goes. So, shit just hit the fan. You'll notice all the military guys just died. We're kind of driving through what appears to be a second alien invasion or some sort. But you'll notice that there's not really anything happening. I just kind of have to wait until I reach the destination. Normally, you'll have passengers back here who you have to watch. Thing is, those passengers are talking and they're revealing a lot of backstory to the game, but you gotta run around and you gotta repair parts. See right here, the cargo's about to go down. You have to balance out the electric usage so that your train can keep running. And things like that. I know I said that the graphics were kind of serviceable and get the job done, but it's actually the backgrounds here that I think work the best. The backgrounds during the train sections. Some of that is some of the higher quality stuff that's out there. So things are hitting the fan right here, obviously. This is where the crafting system is down here. You can make medkits, you can make bullets. And then you have a map of where you are compared to your next destination. I'm here, so it's time to land. So we'll get out here and we'll start the first on-foot section of the game. So I got to go out there and I got to find the code to the blocker so that I can move on. Shit has hit the fan here. And this is pretty much at which point the zombies will start approaching. So there's little hatches you can get down in some cases, but for the most part you start out on foot, traveling just through buildings and stuff. You'll notice the upper floor wasn't revealed until I went up there. That can kind of be a problem. For whatever reason, it's kind of hard to actually shoot up the stairs. I need to reload before I go fight this dude. Basically, the controls are left stick to move around if you're using a controller, right stick to aim, triggers to shoot, and that's it. Combat's fairly simple. You probably shouldn't waste ammo on basic enemies because that's how you're gonna get killed quickly. Those little dudes are fast and probably the main ones that you're gonna be wasting your ammo on. But you have to go out here and scrounge up supplies. So you can throw things at enemies if you pick them up, and that part's kind of nice because it'll kill pretty much any enemy in one hit. But see right there, yep. Not elevators. Ladders are kind of a problem because you can get stuck on them. You can't attack while you're on them. They're just kind of there as a nuisance. It's kind of annoying. These are stairs that I just went down. But you'll notice, like, the basic enemies, you can kind of just run through them and punch, and you don't really got to worry about it. You can charge up your punch. I was just doing weak punches, but if you charge it, you do obviously more damage. But there's a cooldown in between. It's pretty basic combat. Pretty basic combat mechanics. So you got to be intelligent about how you use your ammo and things of that nature this early in the game. Probably the fast guys are the ones worth wasting it on. The regular enemies aren't too hard. And the atmosphere really, I think, works out in the game's favor. But unfortunately, that's most of what it's got going for it. While you're out there, you can get more people to ride on your train, more passengers, that sort of thing. Uh, and that's the big thing. Still got to get the code, though. Where's the code? Let's head back out. I feel like I've been everywhere. Maybe I'm just being stupid. Oh, doy. Okay, I understood. Like, that's what I mean by the dialogue is a little bit not great. So, at this point, I gotta get back to the train. I think that's the code down below. I gotta go get the code. And it's kind of just like a scavenger hunt to find where you can get the actual code to unlock the blockers so that the train can move on so that you can actually get where you need to go. Yeah, see? 9538. So there's the code. Got to go enter that in, and then we'll get to the first real train section, the section where things can actually break down, where you have to maintain the people, things like that. What you just saw is a pretty standard fare, honestly, for the on-foot levels. So let's enter the code, and then you just automatically get on the train. You don't got to do anything special. You don't have to drive it. You just have to maintain it. You just got to keep it neat and tidy and clean for the people who are on there. And as long as they survive till the end of the act, once you get to the end of the act, you get a fare for them, so you get money, and that's when you can go out and buy more med kits. You can buy weapon upgrades, you can buy food, stuff like that. At this stage of the game, you just have to scrounge it up. So you can come over and you can view your passengers, what kind of rewards you'll get if they survive, their health, their hunger levels, and listen to them talk. The problem is, like I said before, you'll notice these guys are talking, but something's bound to break, and they're going to scroll off screen, and I'm not going to see what they're saying. They went through the effort to write dialogue that you can't necessarily even see. It's kind of nice to have if you actually were able to listen to it, but you're not actually talking to them. The dialogue just happens in the background. Basically, on train, you're just waiting for something to break so you can fix it in time to get to the next place. And that's this, honestly, not to put too fine of a point on it, but that's the game. There's different enemy types. Obviously, you saw the fast, little tiny zombie dudes who run around. You saw the regular weak zombies. There's also zombies that explode. There's armored zombies. So there's a little bit of enemy variety, but they don't necessarily throw them all at you at once. So my deprecation system just broke. So basically, you got to button mash till the levels even out, and you get a green check mark. That's it. That is me maintaining my train. While it's down, the passengers take some damage, but I can always heal them with medkits. The thing to keep in mind, though, is that these medkits are shared amongst you and the passengers. So when you're out trying to scrounge up and scavenge for goods, those medkits are the same as you're using to heal the people. So you got to be very, very careful about using those at some point. You can craft them if you have the goods for them, but you may not be super lucky and get it. Now, watching me play the game, it kind of seems like maybe this should be a roguelike, where the on-foot sections are randomized, where the train sections are randomized, that sort of thing. But the only thing that's really randomized are the things that you loot, what you get from the loot, and then what breaks on the train. The actual game itself is totally linear, totally pre-made, and that's pretty much it. There's no real randomness to it. And what's kind of a shame is, like, as a survival game, death is actually kind of meaningless. If you die, you kind of just pick right up where you left off. There's nothing really big about it. That part's nice when you get ambushed by a bunch of different enemy types, like you get the fast zombies and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know. It kind of makes death totally meaningless. I should probably shoot the guy. So yeah, basically you only really have to shoot the little dudes. The guys, there's exploding zombies. Those are probably ones you want to shoot too. But this is pretty much it for combat. I mean, whoops, see? I died, but watch, I'm going to pick right up right before that. So much before that, it was after those other zombies even came out. I found that that happens a few times in the game. It's not like a super common thing. Like, you don't always respawn with zombies there waiting for you. But with these normal dudes, it's pretty much as easy as swinging and running through them while you do it. It is what it is. The combat's not super fun, but it's also serviceable. The thing is, the game is way longer than you think it is. It's probably going to take about 5 hours to beat, 5 to 6 hours based on what I've seen online from other people who've already beaten it. And unfortunately, this is the game. This is it. This is the whole game. Like I said, it would work if there were really cool individually crafted story areas, which is kind of what you expect when a game, you know, isn't a roguelike, it isn't random. The creators of the game could go out and do exactly what they wanted to do every time, but unfortunately, it doesn't quite work that way. A lot of the storyline is told in like snippets of letters or internet or whatever, like internet conversations. And see here I can pick up another guy to bring with me on the train. Assuming he survives until the end, I'll get a fare for him too. It's kind of worth doing because then you can go into the next act a lot better off. And there's a zombie pooping in here. See, like, I already knew that, and that kind of spoils the fun. And now I'm accidentally on a ladder, so I'm going to get messed up. It kind of spoils the fun. There's nothing really super random about it. Like, it kind of feels like it should be. And that's kind of a shame. There's a lot of work put into the atmosphere. I feel like if the developers were able to make that work on top of what they've already made, like, I feel like this could be a little bit better of a game if it was more randomly generated and if there was more, I don't know, I guess more risk to it. Once you have a level fairly well memorized, that's it. The codes don't change. This is the same exact code as the last time I played the level. In theory, I could probably enter that code at the beginning of the level and just skip it. I haven't actually tried that. I haven't actually written any of them down, but in theory, that would work. And here we go on to the next train section. It's back and forth, back and forth. Let's see here. This guy he's injured, so he's going to slowly lose health. This guy's hungry, so I need to feed him. But I only have, I think, only one med kit at this point. Yeah, I only have one. Let's see if I can craft more here. Crafting is as simple as coming to the screen, selecting what you want to craft, and if you have the ingredients, you just hit the button a few times until you make it. It's super rudimentary. It almost wasn't worth putting in. I don't know why they bothered, but I don't know. It's there. I guess it makes scavenging feel a little more useful. So if I want to get this guy's reward, I'm going to need to keep him alive. He's bleeding. I can heal him with the med kit, but that's that. That med kit will be gone. I won't be able to use it when I'm out there getting attacked. The backstory is kind of cool. I like the atmosphere going on there. There's like a government council that was created after the previous alien invasion. There's a guardian of some sort. It seems like the guardian from like Destiny, who you have to power up. Things like that. But like I said, a lot of the backstory happens here on the train, and you just don't really get to read it. Alright, let's take a look at him. Alright, he's about to die. I'm gonna use the medkit on him just because I can use the money to get another medkit later on. But this is predominantly the game. Back and forth, back and forth. No one particular area stands out. Like I said, the backgrounds on the train areas are pretty good. But other than that, I don't know. It's a serviceable game. It's $14.99. I think it's probably worth about $14.99. If what you've seen so far is jumping out at you, if it seems like the sort of thing you're into, maybe give it a look. For anyone else, I'd probably wait till it's on sale. I was a little bit disappointed in the game. I saw it originally, it looked super cool. I like the idea of it. It's kind of an original idea. You're on the train, you got to keep people alive to get to your destinations and stuff. But it's I don't know. It's one of those games where I don't know that I can deal with the kind of not great combat in exchange for the atmosphere. It's kind of a shame. I would definitely look at it if it's on sale. If you can get it for like maybe $10, sure. I know when it first came out it was $12.99, but I don't know that I would pay full price for it, even at $14.99, which is a shame because once you get it figured out, it's not too bad. But this is it for combat. Like I don't know. It is what it is. So this is the last station, and like I said before, it's available on PC and consoles right now, except for Xbox, where it'll be available on September 2nd. Thanks for joining us here. My name's Hammer, and I'm part of Team ForceQuit. Have a good day.